The room was quiet in a way that felt louder than noise, the kind of silence that presses against the heart and asks it to speak first. Baby G stood by the window, the city lights reflecting in her eyes like scattered memories, while Dijonisi lingered a few steps behind her, unsure whether to move closer or give her space. When she finally turned around, there was a softness in her gaze that stopped time. "Du bësh romantike, nëpër filma," she said gently, almost teasingly, but beneath the words lived a deeper request. "Be present with me truly, without fear." They had not always been this careful with each other. Once, their love had rushed forward like a song played too loud, full of passion but careless with its quiet notes. Baby G was known for her confidence, for the way she walked into rooms as if she belonged there. Yet behind that strength she carried old disappointments that had taught her to protect herself. Dijonisi, thoughtful and reserved, had learned to hide his emotions behind patience, believing that love was something you proved through endurance rather than expression. Together, they were learning that romance was not about grand gestures alone, but about listening when the other spoke in half-finished sentences. That evening, the challenge they faced was not dramatic on the surface. It was simple, almost ordinary. Baby G had asked Dijonisi to help her open the zipper of her dress, but the request held meaning far beyond fabric and metal. For her, it was an invitation to trust. For him, it was a test of courage, the courage to step forward without overthinking, to let tenderness guide his hands instead of doubt. As he moved closer, memories rose between them like invisible walls. They remembered their first arguments, when misunderstandings grew from unspoken fears. They remembered nights when silence felt safer than honesty, and mornings when apologies came too late. The weight of those moments made Dijonisi hesitate, and Baby G noticed. She smiled, not unkeenly, and said, "Romanka, nuk është perfect. Është e vërtet. Romance is not perfect, it is real." Her words softened him. Slowly, carefully, he reached for the zipper. His fingers trembled, not from desire, but from the awareness that this small act symbolized something larger. He was not just helping her change clothes, he was choosing to be gentle with her vulnerability and with his own. As the zipper slid down, there was no rush, no expectation beyond the moment itself. The simplicity of it made the air warmer, more human. They sat together afterward, talking the way they wished they always had. Baby G spoke about the pressure she felt to always appear strong, to never let the world see her uncertainty. Dijonisi confessed how often he feared that his quiet nature made him invisible, even to the person he loved most. Each confession lifted a burden, replacing it with understanding. The challenge they had faced for so long, the fear of being truly seen, began to lose its power. Life, however, did not pause to admire their progress. Outside that room waited responsibilities, opinions, and expectations. Friends questioned their compatibility. Work demanded their time and energy. Social media painted false pictures of perfect love that made their own struggles feel like failures. There were moments when Baby G wondered if being with Dijonisi meant dimming her light, and times when Dijonisi worried that loving her meant losing himself. These doubts returned like waves, testing the strength of what they were building. What changed was not the absence of conflict, but the way they faced it. Instead of walking away, they learned to sit with discomfort. Instead of winning arguments, they chose to understand them. When Baby G felt unheard, she learned to say so without anger. When Dijonisi felt overwhelmed, he learned to ask for space without shutting down. Each challenge became a lesson. Each mistake, a step towards something steadier. One evening, months later, they found themselves laughing over a burned dinner, the smoke alarm ringing like an unplanned soundtrack. In that laughter was a realization. Romance was not something that happened once, like in films, but something you practiced every day. It was choosing kindness when irritation would be easier. It was staying when leaving felt tempting. It was opening not just zippers, but hearts, again and again. The story they were writing together was not flawless, but it was honest. And in that honesty, they discovered a deeper beauty than any scripted scene. Baby G no longer asked Dijonisi to be romantic like in movies. She saw that what they had was more powerful. Dijonisi no longer feared that his quietness was a weakness. He understood that his calm presence was part of what made their love feel safe. In the end, their message was simple, yet inspiring. True romance is not about perfection or performance. It is about showing up even when you are unsure and choosing love in its most human form. As the city lights continued to glow outside their window, Baby G rested her head on Dijonisi's shoulder, and he held her there, knowing that this, exactly as it was enough.